please. Junaid promised you a question first, that's right. Yes. Are you leaving for Spain tomorrow?
Monday morning, sir.
Monday morning, right.
This time I have to give my name. I never give my name. Dr. Nazir Ahmed. I was named by Hazrat Masih Salam himself.
That's very good, yes.
And he touched me and he said, one Nazir has come and he brought this back, and no other Nazir has come. There are some things that are true as he said. Now, I volunteer 1 year. So sometimes the question is longer and the answer is small, and vice versa.
This time
It's a question is longer, yes. I volunteered for 1 year in Spain. And just like Zabdin Tariq, as Khalifa Tharwi said, Allah will give us many Zabdin Tariq. And I have done 4 months. And 8 months remain, and I have 2 months and 1 month come for treatment and all this. Yes. And the difficulties are, وَحَنَا لَازْمَ مِنِّي وَاشْتَعَ رَاسَ شَيْبًا جِسِمِ القرآن Zakaria said. And Rasulullah said, مَا نَا إِلَّا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. And Musa said, رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي. And Haruna, he said, I want my brother, help me. وَإِذْ فَإِبْرَاهِيمَ من القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل. He wanted Ismail's son. I got 5 sons, and 2 are dedicated, 1 doctor and 1 teacher, and the others are not available. Unless you order one to come with me and help. They are, but unless you order them, as Khalil, Major Khalil Ahmed, he is free, and unless you order them, we cannot come to Spain. And we have to do it because Zaid can do it. He has 10,000 soldiers. We have got 10,000 angels with us, with Hazrat's prayers. And also Musa said, and this thing are difficulties, and if you can solve this, how I have to do it, because I have to make everybody must make a small Baitullah and preaching house. And I have to do that, buy a house, convert it into a mosque or something, preaching places, and then hand over to the mission that it is yours. Except that I should go sometime, or my family sometime go preaching, sightseeing. I should be given free. This I have to do.
You are not taking your wife along with you?
She never you moves now. She don't want to move.
Because she is doing some very useful service there.
Well, if you tell her.
To go with you.
Sir, Khalifa third is here on the Eid day, and King Walkan was there. And he told me, when are you going to marry 3rd wife, a Spanish girl? I said, unless you
are not taking her along. For the message, and I understand she is also getting the message.
And he said, unless you order me, sir. He said, मेरा हुजूर लेना है. Do you want my order? Why? Do you want my order? I said, unless you order. मेरा हुक्म है, मेरा हुक्म तुम्हें जरूर लेना है. As you like, sir. So this is, but Khadija, he said, Khalifa III is both Bakri hai, very strong religion. She says, you can have 1, 2, 3 wives, I don't care, I have a house, I have food, I have no movie. So kindly help me how to do that, I have to study.
When you go there, when you preach, maybe there are some occasions Allah sends your way, and it's for you to utilize them. How can I tell you how to go about it? You're an experienced gentleman.
Going on 1,000 now Muslims. We have to break into few area. That area. Comment on this.
Yes, please.
She has requested, that she's working, his wife. Sister.
The present one.
She has requested 1 day leave for Monday because she said that last time when Dr. Sahib went, he took wrong train. So she don't want that this time he goes into the wrong.
She does not want him to miss the train.
Sorry, sir. The train was not very long. One Broxton and one Dover. means same thing. You have to go across France by railway train, it's not difficult. One thing more, sir. Because I am going to stay, so please, I beg you, sir. My son, Dr. Hamidam, is going with me for a week. I see him for 1 or 2 months, and his voice is just like Sani. Please allow him to 1 minute to recite Quran, 1 minute only. Dr. Hamid Ahmad, his voice is like Sani. All right. He's Hamidam, Dr. Hamidam.
But don't take any action during the first week when he will be accompanying you. While in this company, don't move in that direction at all. You understand? Yes.
And it's a very important question.
Yes.
The question is, unless the people, I have studied this, the women all say, we are teachers. I said, your grandmother married Arab and you are born. She said, yes. Never said no. And I taught them and I told them, and they were silent, always silent. That means I have read their praying in the thoughts. What means our future? They say they want their silent language. What is our future? That means that they are waiting for a support. And a woman's support is marriages. Because marriages...
Yes, we understand all now. We understand this.
Otherwise, Muslims here, and true Muslims, and they are ready, they are Muslims now, half Muslims. They will be full Muslims and the problem is very big.
Good. Now, questions please now.
I want to ask about an Quran verse. Inna Allah ya'muru bil adli wal ihsani wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkari wal baghi. In your speech on Jalsa Salana in 1982-83, you have told that on the one hand there is adl, ihsan and ita'i zil qurba, and on the other hand, just opposite to this, that is fahsha'i munkari wal baghi. I couldn't understand that how this opposite to this.
That's a very interesting question, but this cannot be answered here. It requires a longish treatment. A full speech should be devoted to this subject, because offhand it will not be, I will not be doing justice to this. This is a beautiful comparison. These words are put into just opposition to each other. And what is why it is one the converse of the other, that is the question. So it will take, I think this is not the proper stage for that question.
Any small answer to elaborate?
No, that will destroy the beauty of this.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, after speaking on the positive aspects, I had planned to speak on the other side, other aspect as well. Why these converses and what do they mean? In fact, the negation of the positive is the creation of negative, of course. But why one is used in relation to the other? Where is lafzu nashar murattab? The same order is used. So apparently one doesn't see any apparent relationship between these two. I mean, the first three and the second three in the same order. That's what is bothering me.
Yes.
Now, Hashim Sahib, after Hashim Sahib I will. Yaqub Sahib? After Hashim Sahib I will give you this chance.
So recently, debate is going on in America, particularly in relation to the religion and politics, whether it should be mixed or it should be kept separate. And the two candidates are diametrically opposite, the Walter Mondale and the Ronald Reagan. Reagan is of the opinion that faith and politics should be combined, but the other one is saying no, they should be kept apart. Where does the balance lie? This is my question to yourself, because I think it is...
It all depends on what they mean by mixing politics with religion, or by not mixing with politics with religion. It all depends. A politician can be religious. A politician can work for the promotion of religious values without being a party. As far as that is concerned, we have no objection. Islam has no objection. Religious values should be promoted, and when we speak of religious values, mind is turned to a verse of the Holy Quran and many such verses in which Allah Ta'ala tells us, فِيهَا كُتُبٌ قَيِّمَةٌ, that there are lasting truths which are common to every religion. And the Sharia, the Islamic law contains all these lasting truths, or universal truths, you can say. But the word qayyama applies to the lasting truth more than the word universal. In universal truths, only those truths are included which, without reference to religion, human morality can reach directly. But when the Holy Quran mentions Kutubul Qayyama, it means such truths as may not be reached directly by human imagination. The revealed truths as well. So it's a wider sphere. And those revealed truths which never change, despite the change in the name of religion, they are Kutubun Qayyama. So they are common between every religion. Those values should be promoted by every politician. Otherwise, he will not be doing justice to his people or to the world at large. So, in that much, you should mix religion with politics. But to mix religion with politics in a completely different way is not at all acceptable to Islam. When the politician speaks of mixing religion, he doesn't mean adopting moral values or inculcating moral values. What he means is simply this, that as far as politicians and their followers are concerned, let them enjoy life as they please, let them tell lies and use deception for promoting political ends or gaining political ends, no harm. Only use religion to help politics achieve its goals, nefarious goals. If this is what is meant by mixing religion with politics, it is abhorrent to any religion, not only to Islam. And this should not be permitted. This is exactly what is being done in the name of Christianity, in the name of Islam. Poor religions are being made scapegoat for the sake of politicians, by the politicians. So this is no way of mixing things.
Before they were never going towards this sort of school of thought that the religions or politics should be mixed or not mixed. Why is it recently there seems to be a wave of...
This is, previously, I think it was President Jefferson, who first mentioned this, that a complete separate compartment should be made, completely separate compartment should be made of religion and politics. And he was a very wise president. If I am not mistaken, I think it was he who first mentioned it, that religion should not be permitted to interfere with politics, and politics should not be permitted to interfere with religion. Let them prosper in their own respective fields. This is the best formula that I can think of. It does not mean that a politician is anti-religious when he does not permit religion to interfere with politics. Nor he is a bigoted person when he does not interfere in religion on behalf of politics. Live and let live. This is the essence of this policy. And do not interfere in each other's premises. I think this is the safest formula. Now it is Yaqub Sahib's turn.
Hazur, I have to ask this question. I've got a friend who wanted to join Ahmadiyya. Who wanted to join Ahmadiyya, and he's with me.
Where is he?
He's Abbas on the right. And in fact, he asked whether they could join all of them. Although I stopped him. I was been stopping, that you take the
For how long have you been
months
discussing Ahmadiyya with him?
with him months.
How did you come about each other?
I know his father. He's very near.
Quite a few years.
Yes, I
You
know.
don't know each other for long.
Actually, his father, yes, I know for a very long. We have been associated.
His
And
father made exception to this.
no, his father otherwise has been very kind to me. In fact, he will accept, as far as I know. But I said that,
Would we take exception to his joining Ahmadiyya or not?
well,
Will he abide?
no, not at all. In fact, he is also expected to join, but I thought that it is better for him to join. This was my own decision, the way I was thinking. And so I came to you. Otherwise, he said my two brothers could join. I said, no.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Are you fully satisfied as to the truth of Ahmadiyya?
That's what I have been reading books which was taught by Mr. Yaku.
You also know the distinctive features of Ahmadiyya as against some other sects of Islam?
Well, basically I have been enlightened by Mr. Yaku, which have satisfied me.
But
what is expected.
mainly the issues at variance are just a few. And on these differences you should be well versed, because the moment you accept Ahmadiyya, your friends and others will be after your blood and after your skin. And they would like some justification to hear from you.
Yeah, that's understandable. As you said, I have been
And
reading.
you should be well versed in that. You should know where you stand and why you have chosen this path as against another. These are the things in which you should study deeply and seriously. But I'm not telling you not to accept Ahmadiyya. That is different. If one's heart is fully satisfied, if Allah, for instance, has shown him some dream or some guidance through which one is fully satisfied, then such a person should not be prevented from accepting a faith, because nobody can have guarantee for one's life. If you are fully satisfied in the truth, neither I nor Mr. Yaqub Ahmad Sahib has any right to prevent you from accepting it. But only if we were advising you, if you are not fully satisfied, if there is something yet left to be learned, you better do it, because otherwise you may land in very, very difficulty.
Understandable. As I said, I did read the books. So,
It's your decision.
yes.
And also pray for a while. Pray to Allah to open up your heart further and to strengthen you against any opposition which you may meet, and give you a long life to serve Islam, bring you closer to Him. Because it's a very serious decision, It's not just an ordinary decision, a political decision. It's very important. It pertains to this life and the life to come. So better pray for a few days and then let me know. Right?
That's it. He's been coming here also and seeing you.
Yes.
That's been attending. And he'll come. He's allowed to come here.
Why not? Most welcome. Most welcome. How could he come without permission if permission was necessary to the court? Nobody stopped him from coming, did he? Yes. Khokhar Sahib? Who is Habib Khokhar? Is your cousin? He has had some heart trouble? His wife, your sister. And has he left for Kenya? Not yet. I heard from him that he was proposing to go to Kenya.
But as you see, my question is the general nation. I don't know whether you're being pressed for others to listen. The point is, I come from India, where I've lived among Hindus, and Sikhs also. Yes, and Sikhs also. And what I've observed is that some of the religions, whereas they are very liberal in matter of their beliefs and their ideology, but they're very severe and oppressive socially. Islam, by practice, not by inviting or by preaching, but by practice, appears to be very oppressive ideologically, that's in matter of faith, but very liberal socially.
You have to illustrate because I simply can't understand what you mean. Illustrate bit by bit. This comparison is very interesting comparison, I understand.
It is observed. It is observed over the centuries.
Apply your philosophy both to the facts of Hinduism and facts of Islam, and then make the comparison more clear.
My object is not comparison among religions.
No, but you are making a sort of comparison anyway, whether the object is there or not. But unless you make it clear, I will not be able to answer you.
Yes. The point that I'm arriving at is that in practice, Islam appears to be most repressive ideological.
Examples where Islam appears to be most repressive and it is liberal in social content.
Yes.
Give example and clarify yourself.
Yes. Now,
But you started with Hinduism. The first.
yes, sir. Say in Hinduism, you see, you can worship hundreds of hours. Nobody's going to stop.
What do you call this? Liberalism?
It's a total liberalism, the ideology. Yes. At the same time, you see, their caste system, you see, they're social. They're most oppressive. Even in this enlightened age, you see, a Shudra is not allowed to go to their mandirs. See, that's what I exactly mean. You see, that socially they are most oppressive, ideologically they are most liberal. At the same time, Islam, ideologically.
Now there is a difference of coinage of phrases. I don't accept that phrase as liberalism. What you are describing is anarchism in religion or chaos. That is also a sort of liberalism, isn't it? Free for all. One way of seeing it, observing it would be, some observers would call it liberalism and some would call it chaos. So I understand the situation to be a chaotic situation rather than a liberal situation.
So we are reverting to comparison.
Alright, now understand the first point. Now second point please. Islam.
That by practice it has been observed that Islam is most repressive ideologically. In its
oppressive in the sense that it only claims one God and does not permit you to worship other gods.
I'm not taking it in that light, sir. I'm taking, you see, when Sunnis believe in one faith and Shias believe in another, they are prepared to cut each other's throats.
That is neither here nor there.
No, sir, because it is on the basis of their faith.
Because if you mean that, then in comparison, Hinduism has exactly the same hard, tight compartments, and they are very severe in maintaining those differences. And they are very intolerant of each other. For instance, Aryans, Aryaism, not Aryans, but Arya, Smajis, they are very intolerant of Brahmo Samajis or Sanatan Dharmis. And so are they of the others. And they have their own very strict mythology to follow. Not doctrine, but they have mythology, some sort of mythology. And each one has its own distinct mythology. So they are worshippers of Vishnu, worshippers of others, and there have been fights going on between them previously. Only because politics has now predominated their imagination and pursuits in life. This is why these differences have been subjugated to a position of unimportance.
Vishnu,
What?
my question, not by the question, it's the statement of why this difference, why Islam is socially so tolerant and by faith in its ideology so repressive.
It's not, but again, there's a difference of your terminology. It's not at all oppressive. How could you call a faith oppressive and restrictive in its ideology when it says man sha'a fal yakfur, man sha'a fal yu'min, or man sha'a fal yakfur? La ilaha fid din, qad tabayyana rushdu min al-ghayy, wa man yu'min billahi wa man yakfur bit taghut wa yu'min billahi faqad istamsaka bil urwati al-wuthqa lan infisama laha. This is a straightforward declaration of the Holy Quran. Where is the oppression? I can't see.
Excuse me if I hear you say at the same time we have some punishment from Muqaddis.
No, not in Islam. I wonder which Islam you are following.
Hazur, in one of the prayers of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that Allahumma inni zalilun faizali. And
Allahumma inni
zalilun faizali.
fa'azini.
And in many of the prayers of Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, he expressed himself as gunagar sinners. Nauzubillah. We know that these were the people who were the prophets, were innocent. But we are expected and we are supposed to speak truth in all the conditions, whatever may be. So, this is Ajzi maybe, is Ajzi, but
No, not only Ajzi.
Yes.
It's a very, I should say, a refinement of character and a high quality of excellence which is shown in this attitude. The fact is that if you understand the English idiom, one man's meat is another man's poison, to some extent you will follow this situation. There are different strata of closeness to Allah and piety. And at a low status, your concept of piety would vary according to your situation and your own attitude to life and your upbringing. And all these factors play a role in determining what is pious for you. But the same thing which may be pious for you could be a crime as applicable to a man situated much higher, at a loftier platform. So it's all a relative terminology. When we say Anbiya do not commit sins, we mean in ordinary terms, what is known as sin, very clearly laid down in the Holy Quran, they just do not commit sins. But a refined person, many a time, having not committed a sin, makes a very small mistake somewhere, or considers he has committed a mistake because of his higher values, and he is more ashamed, much more ashamed than a sinner is when he commits a sin. A sinner having committed a great sin may be shamefaced, audacious about it. But a person with high refinement would apologize. Sometimes you see people apologize to you who are more finely strung for things which you simply can't understand. Why are they apologizing? There is no occasion for apology. Yet they in themselves are being eaten up by some omission they thought they had committed. So this is exactly the situation with the prophets in relation to Allah. None is without sin. In that sense, this is why the prophets have pointed to this fact. Like Hazrat Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. There is nothing, none is pure and pious except God. Don't call me pure or pious. That is what he means. In relation to Allah, everyone, every being is imperfect. But with relation to you, they are complete paragons of virtue. They appear to us so perfect that for you to point a defect in them would be committing a sin. Would be like committing a sin. So So this is the, change your direction. Look from the direction of God, then you will understand the sins of the prophets. Look from the direction of man, then you will understand their virtue and perfection. Yes, please.
But Rasul himself has read that Allah isn't. It means he thought himself among the people.
He is misunderstanding the import of this. What he says is that in your eyes I am Mu'azzaz, I am already held in a place of high station with you. But the people around me, they don't know, they don't recognize me. In their eyes, I am a small person, and so change their visions, give them a sight to recognize me. It only means that. Yes, Chaudhry Muhammad Abdul Rashid Sahib, at last your turn has come.
Huzur, I have a question which has two parts. There seems to be...
Questions are all very
Well, I want to prolong it, see. I want to prolong the question so that I have more answer from you. There seems to be concentration of prophets in the Middle East area. And is there any special reason for this? That's number one. Part B of the question is, Innal arza yarasuha ibadus walihin. It is translated as we know, Arze Muqaddas ke waris mere nek bande honge. This is taken from Tafsir Saghir. Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam has said in his Malfuzat, इस अर्ज से मुराद शाम की सरजमीन है, ये स्वालिहीन का विरसा है. अर्ज शाम चूँकि अंबिया की ज़मीन है, इसलिए खुदा ताला इसकी बेरुमती नहीं करना चाहता. Could you kindly explain both?
Your question is very well prepared, I must say. Hats off to you. But is there any hat here? Yes, sir. You have done it yourself. Okay. The first part of your question applies to the concentration of prophets in a certain region, that is the Middle East. The fact is that there are so many regions of the world, of the earth, so many nations in which Allah sent His prophets. And they also have their own special line. And many prophets appeared in those lines as well. But not so concentratedly, I agree, as in the case of the Middle East. Moreover, their histories are not preserved. And while the history of this line of prophets has been fully preserved. Why? The obvious reason is that it was an evolutionary tree. The main trunk on which was to appear the consummate form of the ultimate prophethood, that is Islam, and at the end of which was to appear the fruit of creation, that is Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That had a very special significance that time, obviously. So there were many branches which were abandoned earlier, many types of religion which were abandoned earlier, and they came to an end abruptly sometimes because they were not required anymore. And the ending of religions took place particularly at the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's appearance. From then on, every other religion was not entirely obsolete. That is not what is claimed by the Holy Quran. They kept on serving their purpose, but they were abandoned in the sense that from then on, there was not to appear any prophethood among them. I make this very clear. some Ahmadis take this stance that every religion is dead in the sense that no benefit can be drawn out of any other religion. That is totally wrong. Not a claim made by the Holy Quran. It says a much better and a perfect religion has appeared, and those who know, it will be in their own interest now to follow this religion. Not to be satisfied with much less when much more has been provided. That is a sort of comparison. And when a teaching which is safe completely, without any influence of man, has been revealed, with guarantee that it will be preserved, why should you follow such teachings which have many pitfalls? Many poisons have been added into the food. So these are the dangers which have been manifestly made clear by the Holy Quran about the earlier teachings. Yet it leaves at that. It says those who cannot understand or have not heard the message of Islam and still pursue the older teachings in honesty, they will be rewarded by Allah. So by preference, giving preference to the Middle East, it does not mean that other religions were abandoned. In fact, this was the line on which Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was to appear. So it was specially guarded and preserved, both in history and in substance, with the result that Islam appeared ultimately. And after that, when you pursue the history backwards, the only sensible way to do is to follow the immediate history of that branch on which Ahmad appeared. And that is quite significant and sufficient as example for the rest of the religions. So two courses are possibly open now. Either to give history for the Holy Quran of every religion independently. That means that the Holy Quran would swell in size to hundreds of times of its present size. The other alternative was to give the history of only that religion which had ultimately resulted in its complete and perfect form. It is quite sensible to follow that history, provided no harm is done by leaving the mention of other religions and their history. So the Holy Quran says that the history we are presenting to you, right from the start of Adam till the time of Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is quite sufficient and all-comprising. It contains every possible situation which mankind could be confronted with. There is not a single situation left out of it. So when it is complete in illustrations, so why should the Holy Quran go on also mentioning other prophets when they have been fully represented in those prophets which appeared in the Middle Eastern religions? So that is the reason, as you see, and this is the wisest course which could have been adopted, and it cannot be replaced by any other course. That is the first question, first part?
Yes.
And what was the second? I have forgotten in the meantime.
It was the verse from Surah Anbiya. Innal arda yansu.
Yes, I understand. Here, al-ard can be treated in two ways, or in fact in three ways. One is generally the land, the earth. And this is a phenomenon which has been mentioned elsewhere in the Holy Quran repeatedly, that after a prophet came, the control of the land was shifted from the hands of those who rejected those prophets to the hands of those who followed. This is how justice was preserved until it was again destroyed by the people themselves. This is a general common rule. And in this respect, when you say Allah, it means earth, generally speaking. In another way,
Al-Ard means the particular land in context with a particular situation. For instance, Al-Ard could mean Pakistan as well, where a special situation has arisen. People are usurping the rights of some people who claim that a true prophet from Allah came, a messenger came, and they have accepted him, have faith in him. That is the only crime committed. And they also claim that this prophet is entirely and completely subordinate, does not speak a single word from himself, but says what was told to him by his master or by Allah in the Holy Quran. By master I mean Ahmad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Despite this clarification, atrocities are being committed against Ahmadis. So Al-Ard as a principle means anywhere, a land, a piece of land, a country, a region where people are deprived of their rights of equal citizenship only for the crime that they believe in a messenger of Allah, they would ultimately be handed over the charge of that land. Not directly. What does it mean, handed over the charge? Not in the temporal sense. It means they will win ultimately, their message will spread, and that message will capture the whole people and their imagination. So that ultimately they will be the owners, they will be the successors. In that sense, not in the sense of any political victory, that is not mentioned. But ultimately it amounts to the same thing. If the majority of a country's population adhere to a certain religion, then they become victorious anyway. So through that process, ultimately lands are inherited by Allah's chosen ones. Now the third is Al-Ard, the land of Palestine, or Arz-e-Sham, as the Masih Maud has mentioned. Now Palestine and Syria in fact are one and the same thing. If that is the question, that may be, the word Syria may be bothering you, why we use Syria against Palestine. People forget that geographies are not fixed things. They change with history. There is a present geography and a historical geography. So when you speak of Sham, it does not mean the country which is contained in the present boundaries. It means Sham known to the religious world of old, in which various prophets appeared, and Palestine was a part or a central part of that Syria. It was only recently that it was taken away and three countries were created out of one: Lebanon, Palestine and Syria. Previously it was not the situation. So Hazrat Masih Maud means that this land is particularly dear to Allah because so many prophets came here, and ultimately the prophets who appeared here gave birth to the best of prophets, the pride of prophets, Hazrat. So this land will also be ultimately handed over to his pious and chosen people. Now this is a promise as well as a direction, as well as an instruction. If you really want that land, be the chosen ones of Allah. Because sword is not going to win you that land. If you become the chosen ones of Allah and behave in a manner that Allah begins to love you, then Allah says, it's my job then. I will change things for you to your advantage, and ultimately you will become the inheritor of this land. There's only time for one question left. So So, because you are just a guest, temporary guest, I will give you the opportunity, please.
In fact, there are two questions really. One is that repeatedly in the Holy Quran, repeatedly in Holy Quran, the reference has been made to that Hazrat Musa has been given the 9 miracles again and again. And well, I attempted in fact to trace out all the 9, but I didn't succeed. You see, that's I would like if a certain amount of light can be thrown on that. Number 2 is that there's a story mentioned in I think Surah Al-Anbiya again actually, that Hazrat Musa approached a holy man, Huzur, maybe I think it might be mentioned Hazrat Khizr who was and who asked Hazrat Musa not to ask questions again and again on repeated effect. But I read it again and again, and frankly I didn't get the exact import of that story. Thank you.
Have you read it in Tafsir Kabir as well?
Pass.
If you had read Tafsir Kabir, the full treatment of these verses in Tafsir Kabir, I think you would have got satisfied.
Right.
By Khizr, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Sani Radiyallahu Ta'ala Anhu enlightened us on this subject, that by Khizr, the Holy Quran means Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and it was a vision of Hazrat Moses, and it should be interpreted in that light.
Oh, I see.
See, so the whole thing would change in its meaning.
Thank you.
And I'll come. For the first part of your question, the first question, Mr. Yaqub would come to my aid. Come and count those miracles as mentioned in the Bible. So where is Naeem? Is Naeem here? Can you remember?
The 9 miracles? I'll count some of them.
You have all right. If you count some of them, and if maybe if you miss some, I
think there were too many. He raised the hands, and there were well, it will be not in order as it is in the Exodus, but I'll just tell some.
The two are known, of course, everybody.
So the one is he asked, and there was the rain of the lice, then the rain of the frogs, frogs, lice. Then the blood, rivers turn into blood.
And let's start with the two well-known ones.
Yes. Well, the
miracle of the hand.
Yes. Then the snake,
the miracle of the staff.
Yes.
Two ones.
Yeah, 2 ones.
The
third one, he asked, and the frogs came, right? He asked for the request.
No, don't describe it as the Bible isn't. There was no raining of the frog.
Well, I knew that.
What it meant is that because of excessive rains,
yeah, there was a
frog appeared as it does normally. So much so that they became a blight to the people.
And the rivers are mixed into blood. The rivers were
and the lice.
And the lice.
5. Yes, 5.
And then he raised hand. The clouds was when he was going away. He raised hand. The clouds was following.
No, but that is not the sign which was shown to Pharaoh.
Okay.
We should count that.
Sign of the kettles. He said, the first ball, killing of...
First ball I remember, yes, that's right, that is acceptable. 6.
And then the kettle, all the kettles. Yes. He raised hand and all the kettle died. That is also new.
Is that so?
Yes, it is so.
Now that I don't remember.
No, he said all the kettle died.
6 are okay anyway. So let's call it 7.
And probably I would make it a little bit more.
And the sign of blood is 8. Sign of blood is 8. Of course. That is, what do you call it? Locust.
Locust, yes. That's
sign of the locust. That is 9. The sign of the locust. So count them.
Yeah, I'm counting them.
There are 9 now. 9 complete.
my view.
Yes. Amit, your father wants to hear your recitation of the Holy Quran, so when you return home, do recite for him. Right? So I recommended your case with him. Alright, you come here and also recite the ritual. Surah Fatiha, okay? The way Hazrat Muslim Maud used to recite, that is what your father thinks you do.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
It reminds one of Hazrat Muslim Maud's tilawat. Jazakumullah. So someone should say, call Zan please.